They're both profound, Hebrews and Luke. And I had all week to work on them in a unique way, because I was on jury duty all week. And I was selected, I was juror number 2 in the case. So all during lunch and breaks, I was working on my sermon. So there with the incarcerated, I was reading about how we treat prisoners, and about hospitality and choosing a seat. So in the juror room, when it was time to deliberate, I looked at what I thought was the seat of honor. And I did not sit there, not out of humility. I didn't want to be chosen as the foreman. So I sat quietly against the wall. And this other person who sat in what I had deemed the seat of honor, the jury said, "Why don't you be the foreman?" And I went like this, "Yes, yes." And then they turned to me and said, "Why don't you come sit at the table?" So I got restored to the seat of honor. There I was, and we deliberated. And I share this story, about how we are in society and how we relate to one another, how we offer care. I've shared this before, that I'm teaching. I'm doing, Michelle does too, but mostly it seems to be on me, where I'm teaching Tess how to drive. So she has her permit. So a regular theme in my teaching is just be nice to people, wave, thank. People are going through a lot. Don't act rude. So we were in Sonoma. We're going through a roundabout. I love roundabouts. Don't get me started on roundabouts. I think we should not have stop signs. Everything should be a roundabout. And when you're in the roundabout, you have the right of way. When you're entering the roundabout, you have to yield. So we were in the roundabout, all these cars. A car was trying to enter, and that person had forgotten that they need to yield. So they expressed their frustration by giving all of us the finger as we went through. I point out to Tess that, see, don't do that, all right? She has to stop there, so giving everyone the finger, you never know what someone's going through. Just wave, and just do that. Be nice, blinker, just stay the speed limit. You're better off in life. And I say all of these things because so many people are living fractured, frayed, on their last nerve, lonely lives, more and more isolation. So how we act in very small ways, it matters. When we look someone in the eye, when we say hello, when we offer something of grace versus thoughts of condemnation that we might have. These little things go a long way in our life, also what it does in us, inside of our mind, inside of our body, what it does inside of our souls, what that can do, can have a transformative effect. And we see these two beautiful readings about humility, hospitality, welcoming the stranger. These are foundational aspects of all of the Hebrew Bible, all of the Greek Bible, all of Judeo-Christian faith, deeply rooted in how we care for the alien, the outsider, how we express love and dignity. And then there's these beautiful moments of communion and fellowship at the table and welcoming people to the table. And when we welcome people to the table, it breaks down barriers in human community. And we can point to a lot of examples where there's barriers right now in American life and human community. And it can, when we extend hospitality to the table, it can overcome exclusions and fear and loathing in and of the world. When we come to the table in equal partners, no matter where we come, no matter how much money we make, no matter who we love, when we come to the table in fellowship, we experience these deep transformational aspects of following Jesus. There's a passage in Matthew that kind of holds, I think, these two readings together. In Matthew, he says, I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. And I was naked, and you gave me clothes. I was sick, and you took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me. And this is one but many examples where the Bible is replete with reminders to care for the poor, our neighbors, widows, orphans, strangers, and the list goes on and on and on. We need to be reminded of that, particularly as people are living in more and more siloed lives of cable television news, online communication platforms, more and more siloed lives. So how do we break out of our silos and find connection? And that's why I think this small act that we do here has profound changes in our lives. To come together as people, to hear a word of God, to sing a song, to pray a prayer, and all be in person. This is nothing I take lightly. It's nothing I take for granted. As I've thought about how we care for the stranger, I am reminded of this historical time in San Francisco history. I was thinking of Donaldina Cameron. And Donaldina Cameron, she was foundational in the Cameron House. The Cameron House is on Sacramento, and it's between Stockton and Powell Street. And it was started in 1874. The building is still there. And it was started by the Occidental Mission Home. It was a group of Presbyterian women who in 1874, with all that was happening with the Chinese slave trade and the deplorable conditions that Chinese were working in, particularly Chinese women and girls who were brought here as slaves and forced into prostitution. So here we have this Occidental Mission Home that was founded, and Donaldina Cameron became the director of the house. And all of the men in that neighborhood who were profiting from this exploitation of women called her the White Devil, of which she took that very proudly, that she had the right enemies. And the house still stands. It fell down after the 1906 earthquake. It was rebuilt in 1908 by none other than Julia Morgan, who also built Hearst Castle. But she started this, what was happening with these women in these forced labor. And it was a safe house that she saw the foreigner, she saw the stranger, she saw the woman, the orphan, the widow. She saw these people as well as all the other founding women members from the Occidental home creating the Cameron House. And built this safe house, which operates to this day. It's now a center of youth in Chinatown. Flash forward into the 1980s, my youth group at Upland Presbyterian Church, our pastor, his friend, was also part of Cameron House at the time. And he later became a professor at San Francisco Theological Seminary. So off we went to Cameron House for a week, where all these little Presbyterian kids, we were sprucing up Cameron House. We stayed for the week. And we were cleaning, we were all working together, we were in the Chinese neighborhood, getting to know Chinatown, and we were riding the bus, we were walking. So my 15-year-old self fell in love with San Francisco, right in front of Cameron House on Sacramento Street. My 15-year-old self go, I don't know how I'm going to do it, I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I am coming back here to live for sure. And nothing's going to get in my way. A few years later, that's what happened. But it started by being at the Cameron House, walking up and down Sacramento Street, in Stockton, in Powell, and walking around learning about that neighborhood and that community. I was on the faculty at San Francisco Theological Seminary down in San Anselmo. I was also an interim pastor at Oakland Presbyterian Church. That's a big, I share this because in both these sanctuaries, these are grand sanctuaries they have here, with grand stained glass windows. In both places, there is a stained glass window. And I love it. I would go there regularly. It's a stained glass window of Donaldina Cameron. It's there. So I would sit in there often and look at that stained glass window. of Miss Cameron. I share this because we are living in a time where how do we reach out to aliens, foreigners, strangers, those that are on the margins, in big and small ways. Small acts can ripple out in profound ways. And we are certainly experiencing that. Lots of examples in modern life. So there are things that we can do. What are the places in our own community that we can be partnered with, that are these ripples that go out to the stranger so that people can grow, to be nurtured? And how are we doing that in modern life? And once again, we have these beautiful scriptures where Hebrews reminds us of who we are to care for. Caring for the prisoner, caring for these people in a world that wants to shut them out, tune them out, build something to keep them out. It seems like all the ladders of support that America has put in place proudly over the last 100 years, all those ladders are being lifted up so that people stay on one side and that they don't enter the next. And this, because that might be happening, doesn't mean we have to be part of it. That we can sit there and we can say there's still goodness in this world. We can reach out to people who are on the margins. For those who have resources, we can use our time, our talent, our treasure in really significant and small and meaningful ways. So I share this story of Donalita Cameron to be a light for each of us. That I'm sure that when she passed away, the house was named after her, and the Presbyterian Church now has an award or something that they do, which is this high esteem. I'm sure at the time she never saw that coming. Probably didn't even want it. But she did it. She stepped into this role, and it was providential. There are these moments in history where we have leaders, and they're providential. There are these men and women in the right time, the right place, who are being asked to do what are great things. And this is an example of that, where this woman stood with all these other foundational women to say, this is what's right. These are what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to stand for this. We're supposed to not tolerate this over here. And we stand against this and we stand for this. And these are moments in time. And I think they are worth celebrating and being remembered. They bring us back to these beautiful readings from Hebrews and from Luke. So all the while I'm reading this, all the while taking breaks in court and watching people have to come in my own trial, watching this happen, have their day in court, and what a beautiful expression it was, hearing testimony from all sorts of different people, watching other people have to give their testimony, but seeing these are people and their lives have mattered, their lives have dignity, their lives have worth. So it was not lost on me in this moment, we're in the Civic Center, watching the various stories come through. Most of them I didn't know anything about, but they were there to seek justice, or have a voice at least, to be in a place where justice can be served. And to read these passages, how even in those places, we offer care, we offer nurture, we offer listening, we offer our lives, we offer our love. And my friends, this is something that all of us can meditate on, and how we can be lights in just our own small and significant ways in this world. And now more than ever, when we can break out of our silence, now more than ever, when we can reach and connect with someone or some group, it matters. It truly matters. And it can change you, it can change the group you're with, and over time, it can change a community, it can change a culture. My friends, may it be so for each of you, and also very much for me. Amen.